the King celebration. What to say? It was about a year ago, it may have been a year ago today, that the nation and the world were in a joyous culmination and anticipation of what had been a cause célèbre for so many of us, the election of President Barack Obama. Good to see Ruth McFarland, my personal assistant. I didn't know she was here. The election of President Barack Obama. And there was literally electricity in the air all around the world. For those of us who lived in Washington, I'll never forget, it was as frigid a day as we could ever find in Washington. It was just murderously cold. And older people like myself determined that on a cold day like that, rather than us going down and standing in frigid, chilly temperatures, we opened the church up and had our own inaugural viewing right there. And believe it or not, our church seats about 1,500 and was probably, I guess 700-800 people. Downstairs was pretty well packed with people who had just heard that this was a place they could be in out of the cold and watch the inauguration. And it was a moving time. People from California and from various parts of the world. This whole event at Shiloh was filmed by a German film crew. And was broadcast all around the world. I have friends who called me from Australia saying, "We saw you on German television. How did that happen?" I still can't quite figure that out. But it was such an exciting time. It was filled with anticipation and joy. People crying. Who can forget the picture of Oprah Winfrey in Chicago breaking down and crying at seeing what many of us thought we would never see. And that was the ascension of this man of African descent to the highest office in the land, and indeed to the position of the most powerful person in the world. Who could have anticipated that we'd ever see that? I know in my younger days I could not have imagined that. And in fact, I will confess, the honest confession is good for the soul. I would confess that if you had been a betting person and asked me to make a bet, I never would have bet a nickel that an African American in my lifetime would become President of the United States.